Trapmore gang, there is a lot of heat around the Epstein files. It's still going on, okay? And one of the craziest things that we saw over the last week, I didn't cover it when it happened, but we're going to have a little deep dive into it now, was Hillary Clinton being dragged in front of a, you know, it was a deposition, right? I guess she was subpoenaed to give a deposition under oath about Jeffrey Epstein, and this was just an absolute car crash. Now, I already did a video covering Bill Clinton's testimony, which actually happened after this, but I've been meaning to break this down. I had a bunch of links that I wanted to show you guys, so even though we're late, we are still here, and I'm excited to share with you guys exactly how it all went down with Hillary, aka Killary. All right, do your research on the the alleged many suspicious deaths surrounding Clintons, possibly more than Epstein, as some might say. Okay, but basically the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, have been implicated in the Epstein network for years. Okay, Hillary Clinton has sat down to try and clear the air, to try and clear up some of the nonsense, some of the mess that her husband started. Not the first time she has had to do this, unfortunately. Okay, so let's break down everything what she said under oath. We can compare it directly to what some of the released files actually show. And naturally, one of the most critical questions she faced was whether or not she actually knew about Jeffrey Epstein, who he was, what his crimes were. What the hell were you guys doing hanging out with this fool?
As I stated in my sworn declaration on January 13th, I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island.
They always say they can't recall. They don't just say I never met him. Can't recall meeting him. You're under oath. Can you prove that it's a lie?
Homes or offices. I have nothing to add to that.
Nothing to add, nothing to hide, right? People saying it's all a big lie. Unfortunately, no one believes her. That's what people are saying in the comments. Now, unfortunately, okay, she says she doesn't know him. Don't know about him. Never met him. Unfortunately, we did see a photo of Hillary in the Epstein files. Deep within the released Epstein files photos, this is an image of somebody that people do believe, some believe that this is Hillary Clinton. I could see it, to be honest with you. I could see it. So, can't confirm it. Looks a bit like Liz Truss if you follow UK politics, but this was way before her time. Now, unsurprisingly, that same photo would be taken down and then it would be re-uploaded, right? Taken down from the Epstein files, they re-uploaded it. Oopsie. Oopsie, we made a big oopsie. All right. Nah, surely not. All right, surely not. Now, for context, this is how Hillary Clinton looked in 1996. Okay, just so you know how she would have been looking at that time. All right, this is how. All right, this is the Princess of Wales. All right, Lady Diana. All right, rest in peace, man. She was a real one. She met with Bill and Hillary Clinton during his presidency, including attending a fundraising breakfast to benefit breast cancer research with the then First Lady in 1996. The news of Diana's death reached the White House. The president released a statement. Hillary and I knew Princess Diana. We're very fond of her. We're so saddened by this tragic event. Thoughts and prayers with her family, friends, and her children. The First Lady also attended Princess Diana's funeral. That's how Hillary was coming with the hair. With the haircut, the side profile, the light blue outfits. Could it be? Could it be? Could this be Hillary? Could be. Could be. All right. Now, here is the full uncropped photo that was in the Epstein files. This was actually a framed photo. So that image that I've just shown you there was in a picture frame. And it's convenient, right? When we're looking at it here, seeing a bit of a leathery picture frame on the edge there. Okay, nothing untowards. When you look at... that's Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, that's Jeffrey Epstein. Now, why would he have a framed picture? He's with the Pope. He's with... I don't actually know who this is. Probably a big dog. Probably some big dogs from around the world. All right? Serious folks. Important. Whoever this is important enough to have a framed picture. Okay? Now, several leaked emails would imply that Jeffrey Epstein knew Hillary Clinton personally. Whoopsie. Hillary Clinton would also be there, and I guess you would know her pretty well. And Epstein was asked to organize a discreet meeting with Hillary. She's never met Epstein, never had no dealings with him. But he seemed to think that he knew her well enough that he could arrange private meetings with her. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I'll organize a meeting with the Minister of the Interior, Hamed Bakayoko, your Ivorian twin. And also, if you want, I could ask the Minister of Mines and Energy. His name is Adamara Tongura. Said, okay, I thought you were suggesting I not come with Hillary there. I can come on the 16th, leave on the night of the 17th, see him again on Paris on the 28th. Jeffrey, this is going to be tough because I told him that you'll come. I really don't know what to say anymore. You won't meet her and he doesn't know that you know each other. He won't meet her and he doesn't know that you know each other. I thought you were suggesting I not come with Hillary there. Hello, Jeffrey. I just left his place and he knew about the 17th date. He said the 17th date is perfect. Apparently, Hillary Clinton would also be here the same day as you. I guess you know her pretty well. Also, concerning Paris, he'll be there on the 25th, leaving on the 28th for Addis Ababa. He's returning on the 1st to Nice for some nice vacation time. And said if you could meet in Nice then too. 16th will be in Monrovia. That's the reason why it wasn't available. Let me know your plans, because he told me to stay until the 18th, depending on when you're coming. I could arrange for some meetings with a few people. Hillary Clinton, I guess you know her pretty well. Meetings with Hillary are not easily discreet. When? That was in response to a message. That's Jeffrey saying meetings with Hillary are not easily discreet. Could you organize a discreet meeting between Sarko and Hillary Clinton in New York? If not, who should we ask? Don't know him, never heard of him, never seen him, never met him. Okay. Now, during the deposition, Hillary Clinton would respond to some of these emails. All right. Lauren Boebert said Epstein had remarked that Hillary Clinton was much prettier in person. Clinton replied, I'm not going to object to that. Imagine you're flirting with Jeffrey Epstein from the grave. Not very tasteful.
And then just a couple of more questions. Regarding the Epstein files, there are many files where Jeffrey Epstein seems to speak as though he does know you personally. In one file, EFTA 006571115, Mr. Epstein is commenting. And he quotes, hey, Hillary Clinton is much prettier in person. This was Tuesday, September 20th, 2011. And then another...
Congressman, I'm not going to object to that.
Don't know him. Don't know him. Don't remember meeting him. Don't recall hanging out with him. Not going to object to that, though.
Congresswoman, can we see the documents? Because we don't think the
we will get that
document says it. We don't think the document says it. Not that you're not.
Doesn't add up, does it?
Don't say that.
Jeffrey Epstein has also commented that meetings with him.
Take it if you can get it. What, from Jeffrey Epstein? I'll take it if I can get it. From Jeffrey Epstein?
Hillary are not easily discreet. Has he ever connected someone to meet with you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I'm going.
She looks pissed. She looks pissed. She looks pissed. All right. She's ready to shed her skin. So this sex trafficker said you were pretty. Care to explain that? What a twat. How dare you, Hillary? Checks notes. Be attractive. How dare Hillary check notes be attractive? All right. It's like she's always been graceful under pressure. I don't understand, not American. Why are they going after her of all of people who've been named? When is Trump going to be grilled? Look, if and when Trump gets grilled, I will be here to tell you all about that. Okay, I might have to do that from the safety of some kind of nuclear bunker. But okay, they're rocking with it. This is in what subreddit is this? Just girls being chicks. All right. They're supporting her, saying another woman forced to explain the actions of men. I do want to know what she had to do with this situation. I'm sorry. We're definitely respect and believe all women, but also what about the victims? What about the victims? I feel like she does have something to answer for here, even if this whole thing has been politicized. She would also address the email where basically Epstein was asked to organize a discreet meeting. I wonder what she said about that.
The original email here is from Mr. Colomb, and he asked, could you organize a discreet meeting between Sarko and Hillary Clinton in New York? If not, who should we ask? Mr. Epstein replies, meetings with Hillary are not easily discreet. When? We started to touch on this earlier. Are you aware of Mr. Epstein or any of his staff reaching out to anyone on your staff to set up a meeting?
I am not aware, and I find it kind of weird because I know Sarkozy, he would not have needed, if somebody was seeking a meeting with me and Sarkozy, he would not have needed to go through anybody else. He could have contacted me directly.
Fair enough. It's a fair response. Okay. Epstein was a bit of a grifter, so it doesn't really necessarily mean that he was definitely lining up these meetings, but he did seem to speak like he had a connection with Hillary. Now, questioning would then shift to Trump's Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnik, whose photo was recently removed from the DOJ files. A very embarrassing photograph. Oops, daisy, that's also embarrassing. Here's a picture of him on Epstein Island was removed. This is the picture. Oopsie. Showed you the picture. Oopsie. You old timers don't know how the internet works. Once it's out there, you're cooked. It's already out there, right? We're going to quickly redact to this and take it to no. Reddit's already got it. It's not how it works. Not how it works, gang. All right. Photos of Lutnik on Epstein Island removed from Justice Department filed, now restored. Whoopsie, got caught. Now it's back. Okay. The photo released last month by the Justice Department as part of the Epstein files showed Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnik with convicted S-offender Jeffrey Epstein on Epstein's Island in the Caribbean. It was removed from the DOJ website and it was restored Thursday night. It's been authenticated. It is real. The Wayback Machine preserving digital online content, and they are excellent. Shout out to them. They downloaded the photo from the DOJ website January the 31st. It was also archived by Gmail. Maybe they say, well, it's already been archived. Might as well put it back. Okay. It was released. Then it was delinked. Within hours of publishing the story, it was then restored. All right, they got caught out in the act, basically. The image was part of a batch of files that were flagged for nudity. The batch of thousands of images were pulled for review. It's being uploaded with the necessary redactions on a rolling basis. No files are being deleted. This is the dumbest thing ever. They're already out. You released them. They're already out. People have downloaded them. They're out. Oh, we're going to read it for nudity. That nudity's happened. They've been and gone, and it's cap. It's cap. Emails were in millions of newly released Epstein files that showed in 2012 Lutnik, his wife, and their 4 children planned a visit to Little St. James, a private island where Epstein had an estate. Imagine bringing your children to Epstein Island. Disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Lutnik was invited for lunch on December the 24th, 2012, and later Epstein's assistant wrote on behalf of Epstein, "It was nice seeing you." He testified beyond a congressional committee earlier this month, acknowledging he was visiting with his family. "We had lunch on the island. That is true for an hour," he told lawmakers. "Then we left with all my children, with my nannies, with my wife, all together. We were on a family. I didn't leave any of my children on Epstein's Island, right? I didn't leave my children on Epstein. I left with my own children, right? Not like the other. Okay. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but we did. I don't recall. People don't recall. They can never say, no, this didn't happen. I never went there. I did not go there. I did not know Epstein. They can't recall. They can't recall. He's not been accused of any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein, to be fair. And in the hearing, he said he had nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing. In recent weeks, though, Lutnik has faced criticism for his ties to Epstein, who was his neighbor in New York City. He previously claimed to have cut off all contact in 2005. However, documents showed the two were in business together as recently as 2014. He probably couldn't recall that business. Their shared dealings are in a now shuttered advertising company called Adfin. The Epstein files showed the two communicated about Adfin as late as 2018, with Epstein writing to Lutnik. On another note, what do you think the prospects for Adfin are? In 2018, Lutnik emailed Epstein to apparently complain about an expansion plan for the Frick Collection Art Museum near their homes. Lutnik warned Epstein the renovation might block your sunlight and your views. You should put in a letter. I'm sending a lawyer. Don't ignore this. Epstein died in jail 2019 after his arrest on federal charges of trafficking. His death was ruled a big fat oopsie. Yeah. All right. So in a heated exchange, she was directly questioned about her relationship with Lutnik, which was quite ironic, seeing as he is currently serving in the government with other people in the government. But it's, look, they're trying to throw as much dirt on the Clintons as they can. The Clintons are definitely covered in dirt. That doesn't mean other people aren't covered in dirt. But right now it's the Clintons' times to
I know Howard Lutnik because when I was senator on 9/11, the firm he headed, Cantor Fitzgerald, suffered the greatest loss of life. As I recall, something like 650 of his employees were murdered by terrorists that day. Howard Lutnik missed being a victim because he was delayed dropping his child off to kindergarten. You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you're going to
This was what I spent my time doing.
I'm a survivor trying to look out for other survivors trying to
and I was taking care of the people who lost 3,000 lives.
And now you're being defiant and indignant today.
You asked me about
I have met
Howard
with Epstein survivors. I'm a survivor myself. You have emails. You've denied that Jeffrey Epstein, that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did not.
Howard Lutnik was
if
used
you
to
have
get
an email
money,
with me asking Jeffrey Epstein for money.
I have an email from Howard Lutnik sending it to Jeffrey Epstein and his people to raise money for an event, an intimate event for you at his offices at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're going to sit here today and obfuscate and say to this committee, you didn't try to get money from Jeffrey Epstein when there was an intimate event in an email
that Howard Lutnik emailed to Epstein's people and Epstein to get him to come to your intimate event at Cantor Fitzgerald, a very small event. And so I'm not going to put it. You want to yell at me, that's fine, but I'll yell right back.
Well,
okay? I am looking out for
it's
survivors. I'm doing
look,
the job that you would not do and refuse to do as Secretary of State. Thank you, and I yield back to
No,
Congresswoman.
I'm going to finish answering the question, which I have a right to do. I am very sympathetic to your personal situation. I have read about it. I have seen you testify or speak on the floor about it. And I very much sympathize with not only what you went through, but appreciate your effort to stand up for survivors. I was a senator representing the people who were murdered on 9/11. Nobody lost more people than Howard Lutnik. You can say whatever you want. You can call him and have him appear before the committee. But I knew him as the man who lost the employees that he knew intimately, including his brother.
And he was a
So
double
I
threat between
work-
you and
Let
Jeffrey
her finish
Epstein
her
raising
answer,
money for
please.
you.
Let her finish her answer.
You know what? If you don't want to hear what emotionally affected me, that's fine. But that's why I know Howard Lutnik. I went to the memorial service every 9/11 after the formal service was held.
I see what you're doing here, and you're
with
obfuscating
all
from
of
the
his
questions. He was
people, the
go-between
families.
between you and Jeffrey Epstein raising money for your
Well,
campaign.
you know, Howard Lutnik and I did work
Thank you. I will
together
now yield
because
to
we had a
Congresswoman
lot of
Luna.
victims
Thank you.
to take care of, and we worked together to rebuild downtown Manhattan.
I'm in two minds about that, because on the one hand, I do feel like maybe she was obfuscating a little bit, trying to dredge up some sympathy with this 9/11 connection that isn't really relevant. But also, I do feel like they're being a little bit hard on old Hillary, when really Howard Lutnik's probably got a few questions. He was on that island. Why did you go to that island? Why did you go to that island? All right. What the hell? So during this deposition, Hillary basically accused the committee of not questioning the other more serious co-conspirators. And I got to agree with her on this one. I actually have to agree with her on this.
0 public hearings, refused to allow the media to attend them, including today, despite espousing the need for transparency on dozens of occasions. You have made little effort to call the people who show up most prominently in the Epstein files. And when you did, not a single Republican member showed up for Les Wexner's deposition. This institutional failure is designed to protect one political party and one public official, rather than to seek truth and justice for the victims and survivors, as well as inform the public who want to get to the bottom of this matter. My heart breaks for the survivors, and I am furious on their behalf.
She's pointing the finger at the man at the top, right? Let's not be ridiculous, okay? Now, I didn't know that no Republicans showed up for Les Wexner's deposition. Okay, that just goes to show what political game this has become, unfortunately. People are basically, you know, she's pointing the finger, one political party and one public official. Okay, we know who she's referring to. I'm scared. I don't want to point the finger like that. Not right now. But anyway, she was also asked about the Pizzagate conspiracy. She called it ridiculous. Now, I always thought it was ridiculous, but I saw a video on YouTube about it the other day that made me think, hang on a minute. This is a bit more crazy than I thought.
$25,000 via affiliate.
Excuse me, could you state for the record, it was not to the campaign, so if you wouldn't mind just stating
$20,000 to Hillary's 1999 Senate campaign?
No, it was a joint. It was a joint.
Okay.
State campaign.
A joint campaign. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Fun.
Okay, so we have talked about those connections. In past public statements, as in 2017 speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code, possibly?
I'm sorry, does
You're
this
asking her about whether she's reviewed emails in the Epstein files which relate to the wacky Pizzagate scandal.
You could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So, excuse me, your question is about whether or not she has reviewed any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be.
There are connections to the language.
Well, the QAnon people believe there are. So
I don't know what QAnon people believe.
Have at it.
But you've accused certain parties, and I think even right now today, of.
So they're saying Bobert's trying to sound intelligent. All right, she's what you get when you ban books. The look on her face. I can't believe I have to engage with this mental midget. I do feel like they were blindsiding her with stuff that's just embarrassing that she wouldn't be able to answer. And I think that even though she's willing to call Pizzagate and just a bunch of nonsense, which seems like a lot of it was, it does make her look bad. Even in presenting this to her in the flesh and actually making her answer for this, she's pissed. She doesn't want to answer this. She's livid that she even has to sit there and listen to them bring up this thing that has been an absolute disaster for her. It's something she would much rather not speak about. She would actually go on to make some very bold claims. She would boldly claim that Donald Trump would be on her witness list. She said it, not me.
As a citizen, all of us should be, regardless of party, wondering, what are they hiding? And that's why I said in my opening statement, the President of the United States is not above the law and should be, in a setting like this, answering questions under oath, as should others who are prominently featured in the files, and especially the group that is featured after 2008. Because prior to 2008, when Jeffrey Epstein pled guilty to the watered-down charges that Alex Acosta negotiated and then was rewarded for in the first Trump administration with a cabinet position, there are so many unanswered questions. As an American,
So she wants other people to face accountability. It is difficult. It does feel like she doesn't answer questions super straight. It does make you wonder whether there is other things going on here. But there would be a pretty low blow when, during the interview, you probably saw this viral clip. Someone would actually take a photo of her. So it's meant to be a closed room hearing, or I don't know. I mean, it's being broadcast, so I don't see what the big deal is. But someone posted an unauthorized photo of her and she threw a whole tantrum. Now, I personally think it would have been more classy to just not worry about this. But she made a whole big thing out of it, how she was going to walk out and she was going to just get the hell out there.
There are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that can occur?
I'm done with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was.
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah, well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
She was big mad, all right? She was big mad. Now, she would end the deposition, basically make a final statement outside. She would give a little bit more clarity about some of the things that were going on.
Well, I have just finished testifying. I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew. And what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. But whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we had agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand. And one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements. So we had to cease the hearing for a period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward, and we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times.
Now, some people are saying that they're not, you know what I mean? I did a previous video about some dude was saying that her and Bill went to Epstein's Zorro Ranch every year, but hey, we can't corroborate that. That's not absolute fact. She would also explain another very suspect detail as to why Ghislaine Maxwell attended her daughter Chelsea's funeral, and some people weren't happy with the response.
Why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to your daughter Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before.
She came as the plus one, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Right. So who is, that's what we were saying. So who is the guest that brought her to the wedding? She hauled ass because she knew that would be the next question. She got the fuck out of there. Bye. See ya. See ya. Okay. People want to know. If they hitched her to a lie detector, the lie detector would check out. So look, okay. We've done the Bill deposition. We've done the Hillary deposition. There's a few big boys that we'd like to hear from, but honestly, I don't think you're going to be hearing from some of the biggest of the big boys. It is what it is, man. Look, these Epstein files, they've been an absolute disaster. It's been absolute chaos. And I, for one, am just still just really sad and disgusted. And I just feel for the victims. I just really want, you know, the authorities to get to the bottom of the situation. I really hope that they can. And I think that one day they will, but it might take a few more people to check out before we can know what's really going on. But look, when that happens, I'll let you guys know. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. I've got some really interesting Ghislaine Maxwell facts for you guys that are unrelated to this. I know I was late to the punch with these videos. I was out of town doing some very interesting stuff. I'll let you guys know about very soon. But until then, I'm really excited. I'm hyped. I'm so excited to tell you guys what I got up to, but it's a top secret for now, okay? The real ones know. But anyway, I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this one. I'll be back with more content for you tomorrow. I'm going to go hard. 3 videos done for you today. I'm going to get up early bird tomorrow and hopefully get a whole bunch of videos done. I do have a few errands to run, so I'm going to do my best, all right? But stay tuned. Catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. And for now, I'm gone. Peace.